trying to get away. Woman beater. John Reynolds, what a man. Woman beater. Got the whole town in his hands. Courtney's bestie. Me rap favorite son. How you gonna put a woman beater on the school board, hun? Woman beater. Hey. Woman beater. Augusta's got a problem and his name is John Reynolds. He's got theft and drug possession stacked up on his sheet. Violating conditions of release. Can't even stay off the street. From Waterville to Skyway. The police reports don't lie, but Courtney called it a bombshell like it's some redemption high. Yeah, they cry peace, peace, but there ain't no peace when a woman beaters on the school board in the EDs is masterpiece. They want you quiet, they want you scared, they call you every name. But the people of Augusta are done playing the game. Next time you wanna hit a woman, you call me. I'll show you what a real man looks like, G. Woman beater. Time to resign, my friend. Woman beater. This story's gotta end. Corny John, pack your bags. The people see the truth. We want real recovery, not protected abuse. Woman beater. Hey. Woman beater. John Reynolds. Woman beater. Woman beater.
Hey, good morning to all zero viewers out there on streaming on 4 platforms at the moment, on StreamYard, using that as my program to get to all 4 of those platforms. It tells me that I have 0 viewers. I don't know if that's true or not, but it doesn't matter. We're here until 6:30 with the one and only activist par excellence in Maine, Tim Bodnar. Tim, thanks for taking time, getting up so early. I don't think this is usual for you, is it?
It is not usual for me to be up at this early. Definitely not.
Definitely not. All right. Well,
but
somebody will see on. Yeah, somebody will see it on archive, I suppose.
Yeah.
I got to get some. I got to get some SEO counsel from you someday.
Yeah. We'll get there.
And how to get the.
But yeah, I mean, it's like, who cares, man? People, I don't care about numbers anymore. Honest to God, if I did, I just don't. You know, I stopped looking at them because it doesn't. You know, it's like my numbers go up, my numbers go down. Sometimes, you know, it's like the Facebook thing. I mean, has been like, I first got on Facebook last Christmas, and everybody was just like, "Oh my God, you're such a pressure press." But you know, I mean, my notifications were constantly down like this. And now it's like, you know, but the people that are needing to see it, they see it, right? And obviously they're seeing it because, because
I think
they're complaining, right?
I think one of the things I need to start doing that I notice you do all the time is this tagging thing. I've never you tag on all your posts. See that.
I over the years I've been trying to figure that out, right? And Richard doesn't do it at all on X anymore, and I've been trying to figure out the most effective way, because what happens is you can wear people out. People can mute you, right? So now you got a tag list that's ineffective. It's not doing anything, you know, because you've worn people to a nub. So I don't know. I try to as much get it in the target, you know, the right hands as possible. So, but the people are, I mean, God is definitely on the move. There's no question about it.
That's for sure. So the thing I wanted to talk with you the most this morning is you've targeted, even though you're an hour's drive from Augusta, Maine, you've targeted Augusta, I think in large part because it's the political capital of Maine.
Right. It's where all the power is.
It's where So you've targeted it ever since you, I think, started to become political, but in the last month or so, you've really jumped in with both feet. Maybe it's been a couple months. And you've got the whole town talking, I would say, at this point with your songs, like the one we just played at the beginning. If you're joining us on archive, and you'll have to scroll back and watch the beginning to see the song. But I think one of the keys to your success in Augusta locally is your use of artificial intelligence and to create songs, and also to do research and to create posts that bring together a bunch of details that under the old investigative journalist paradigm, you'd have to be a polymath to put out as many posts as you put out that name names and that give dates and that all that, all that sort of thing. Speak for a minute to that. It's proving to be, in my opinion, and I'm in Augusta and I've done some testing, going and talking to people around, neighbors, and it's word is getting around that about what you're doing. It's getting around.
Well, it's good, and I the only thing I can say is that that I am uniquely qualified for this day and age to do this task that has been placed before me, and I've got all the tools. And we're dealing with a situation where we've got an entrenched enemy who has control of all the infrastructure, basically controls everything, controls the courts, controls the Robert's Rules of Order, the draconian, rules of civility, all while placing us in a position to live in incivility, right? And it's not civilized what I broadcast the other day, that the never before seen pictures from back there in the zombie lane, right? So I've been trying to figure out, how do you fight, right, this monster, and the only way to do this is asymmetrical warfare, because I cannot win strictly in their systems, right? But even I can use some of their systems and break the rules within the system, like, for instance, the court systems.
Right.
Is to get in there and say, I'm not playing by these arcane rules either, right?
Yep.
And still
Yep.
make it work in your favor. So,
And you've been able to, you've proven to me over the last 6 months, 7, 8 months, that you're able to jump into the court system without money or a lawyer,
right.
and win.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
win using artificial intelligence. That was your kind of secret sauce, so to speak, right?
Sure. Yeah. And so, which of course they've always used, right, to weaponize the law against us who cannot afford an attorney, right? So
Right.
you wouldn't even want to begin to get around the edges of, I don't know, defamation. Well, you see, being in the law system, having tried to consider proving defamation, I realize what a high bar that is. You understand? And so as I've been attacked, I have used everything that was at least not unethical, right? Like, because people would say, well, aren't you doing exactly what Michael Hine did to you? Yes and no. Yes, the tactics are the same. My relationship to the truth is different. And the links I'm willing to go is different. I won't hack into somebody's personal account. Nothing illegal, right?
Right. And you're not using anon accounts to harass. So go
right.
ahead.
In addition to that, right? So essentially, they trained me, right? And so I'm fighting this asymmetrical warfare, saying I do not want to be in these systems, because, at first it started out realizing that the viral video was a key, right? Getting that gets national attention. That makes people uncomfortable. That makes you powerful. I have no power in these systems. I don't know any of these people, but that also does give me power, because they don't know me, and they don't have their hooks in me, and they don't have the dirt on me, because they have dirt on everybody, right? But not me.
Yeah.
So I've been ratcheting this up, and I started saying, all right, I'm going to play by these rules. I'm going to start pressing at all of their, all right, FOIAs, communications. Who am I supposed to be talking to? How do I get questions answered? And just start shaking everything, right? And then what happens is you run to the logical end of that, which is their roadblock, which is, I'm sorry, we're just not going to respond to that anymore. We're going to stop responding to you. Well, what does the normal person do? Nothing, right?
Yeah.
Maybe they go to a meeting, they complain about it for 2.5 seconds, they get the cops to pull them out because of their old systems. Me, I can't tell you where this boldness comes from. The only thing I can explain to you is I'm filled with the Holy Spirit. Other people in the world would say, well, that's a I don't give a F attitude. Maybe you're right, because I don't give a crap about anything except for pleasing my God. And I know that, well, I'm a sovereign God kind of guy, okay? I'm a meta-narrative kind of a fate kind of guy. And when you really get into that and you understand that I'm supposed to be doing this job, you become invincible. At least you think you do in your head, because you are. Who can come against those that, you know, that are with him, walking with him? Who could bring a charge against me? I've already been through that, right? What are they going to do? Make fun of me? Good luck, right? Because I come from this broken place, right? So so what just last night, right, to make an announcement, last night I sent a formal demand letter to the school board demanding John Reynolds immediately step down or suffer the next step of this asymmetrical warfare. And I sent them the song that we just listened to, Woman Beater. And I'm like, now you do you, buddy. Okay, because you've all forced me now. It's been 2 weeks since you refused to deal with my ethics complaint. I will deal with it. And there is a public microphone. I'm just telling you, you ain't going to like it. You ain't going to like it. It's going to hurt because you hurt women. And now I'm going to hurt you in front of everybody.
Yeah.
Okay? So, hey, buddy, you do you. You decide how long you want to hold on to this power. Okay? And I'm going to do this. Everybody's got a past. Everybody's got skeletons in the closet, especially these virtue signaling people that, you know, like Graham Plattner. Look at that. That's just the meltdown of the century. This is the same thing going on with all these Democrats.
Well, in my opinion, it's not partisan. It has to do with whether or not you're on the public payroll at any level, local, state, or national. And
I'm gone with politics. I don't know the D's and the R's at the city council. I got no clue, man.
Right. None. And so the real issue, the bear that you're poking using social media, which has always been, ever since it was introduced by MySpace and then became Facebook, the dominant definer of what social media is in terms of its vibe, if you will, is it's always been what you're doing now, what you started doing a few years ago. What was the one word that led you to everything that's happened in the last 3 years? It's the one word is authenticity. You decided to start using X in an authentic way. And now, and I think God has been walking you through a kind of PhD level course in how to jump into the belly of the beast, Facebook, X, the social media culture, the social media vibe, and use it for what it is actually, for what it is essentially. It's not about friends. It's not about social. It is your newspaper. You have to think of it as a public instrument. As a, it's always been public. This is why we're losing at every level. When I say we, I mean the United States. This is why we are losing at every level, in every way, against every nation, is because we bought the lie that Facebook was selling, and we gave them all of our data points.
Right.
Thinking that we were protecting them by using the settings and the notifications and the groups and the this and the that. And now I'm private, right? Now I'm protected. Now I'm safe. I've only got my friends seeing my post, blah, 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 right?
Until your friend is no longer your friend anymore, right?
Yeah.
Which is what we're finding out. And this whole thing, listen, it's a rumor mill. And I got no problem using a rumor mill. What do you think? I mean, this is the way human history and sociology has worked for thousands and thousands of years. People talk, okay? Yeah. Facebook gives us the opportunity to talk. And I finally refined for myself that this is the place, because look, I'm not afraid to go float. Hey, I heard this. Anybody else hear this? Right? And if nothing comes back, I'll go, you know what? I must be barking up a tree. But I got no problem going up. People lose their minds. How dare you accuse this good man / woman? Yeah, you know. It's like, shut up. Like just the other day, right? I'm talking to Ryan Gary, and I went down there to deliver the needles back, just like they told the city council at the city council meeting, bring them down to the access center. I brought them down, and now I'm trespassed. Imagine that, right? Because I'm delivering needles and asking questions, right? So I see Ryan Gary, out front, and I start talking to this guy, and he's all pissed off, right? And he goes, You called my wife a whore online. Okay, and at first I get defensive. I'm like, no, I didn't. He goes, yeah, you did, da 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 da. And then you know what? Lisa did the right thing. She goes, okay, beyond whore, what do you have to say about the mess that's out there, right? Because this is the thing. It was classic deflection. And really what I should have said was, well, is she?
Yeah, there you go.
Because, clear it up for us. Okay?
Right.
Look, I heard John Reynolds from 3, 4, 5 people now got caught smoking meth on the property, and this is why he no longer works at MERAP. Ooh. He's now working at another sober living facility. I think everybody deserves to know that if that is true, now would be a damn good time to clear that rumor up now, wouldn't it? Let's just dispel that rumor. But they won't. And they
I think you're onto something. Yeah, I think you're onto something by being willing to pass along the gossip. Of course, newspapers live under these ethics rules, I guess. Where you have to draw a line between personal and
but they left that a long time ago. It's only
I know.
It just looks objective. Okay, where I'm kind of willing to put on the other hat. Right, and just right in the middle of an objective article, knuckle rap somebody, right? Like clearly,
right, and the lamestream media weaponized their power very in a sophisticated way before I even became a thing in politics 40 years ago. The way that they now, when I was doing this, what you're doing, political activism, what you and Nick are doing. As leader of the Christian Civic League of Maine, the only option I had to get a message out was through the lamestream media, and so I was able to do it by putting on a suit and blow drying my hair and making the women happy and arguing, using their words to argue enough to get myself quoted. But whenever they quoted me, they would spend. I spent countless hours on the phone with journalists answering their questions. Way too much time, way more time than they deserve, because every time they would lift a quote out of context, and they would start the article with what praising the enemy up and down, the group that I was lobbying against, and then they would close with a voice, a representative from that group that I was criticizing. Right. So it was like they've mastered that tactic. That's all they ever do. Right. These journalists in the lamestream media.
Right.
So you're blowing that apart using the Facebook vibe that everybody's sort of used to. Like you say, it's a rumor mill. But you're also mixing in the FOIA. You're mixing in the written legal facts with the rumors. And boy.
And not to mention the entertainment. Don't forget the third leg, right? See, and so, and then of course there's a whole bunch of seasoning in there as well that really confuses the other side, because I'm 3 steps ahead, man. You have no idea, and I'm covered up with the stuff coming in, and like you said, I'm one man over here, And the thing is that's why Maine Wire was so freaked out. But did you notice the Maine Wire's got a lot more fun lately? They're starting and they're starting to report on things. And you know what? I finally just realized, my job, was never to be part of the Maine Wire, right? My job is actually to get and go ahead of the Maine Wire. And remember years ago, there was this rag called the Inquirer, the National Enquirer. Now, they printed all sorts of weird crap in there, right? Aliens and, But when they printed a story, about a person, something significant, a week later it was in People magazine and in all the newspapers. They always had it first, right?
Right.
And that's kind of my style of journalism. It's got a little of that National Enquirer going on in there, right?
Yeah.
Because look, Alex Jones had it right. We are in an information war. That's all there is. Because if we go get out of the information war, then it's a pew pew war, right? And we don't want that.
That's right.
We don't want that. So
Right.
you got to figure out a way to do things and get more hostile without actually being hostile, right? Like the lady at the MeWrap when I was getting kicked out of MeWrap delivering the needles. She goes, "There's no need to be hostile." I said, "I disagree." I disagree.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we're practicing a womanish form of civility now universally.
Yeah.
And it's got to stop, right? It's got to stop. So you went. I need to learn when I'm doing this kind of thing as a host. I need to learn just ask questions and shut up. But you get me so excited. I want to tell my own story. So you went to you were down in Augusta recently, and you cleaned up some spot. Was it on Maple Street or something?
Yeah, 50 Maple.
Yeah, and I love that story. Tell us the story about how that whole thing came about with you and Nick, because it wasn't your idea. It was actually what's her name's idea, the leader of Main Rap.
Well, yeah. Okay. I mean, essentially what happened was they said, we brought attention on the situation, and at some point the city decided to have a crisis meeting, a town hall informational meeting on how to deal with the homeless problem. And so they decided to do that, and Courtney went, whoop, 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 we're going to be talking about this. I better go down there and look proactive. So she ran down there, and she got busted by the main wire down there. He got a tip to go down there and happened to just catch Courtney. And so then she said they're going to have a cleanup. And I'm like, oh, cleanup? I'm going to go because I'm interested and curious. I want to see this place. I've never seen this place. And I want to know, I don't want to just sit here and blast from the outside, right? Because I don't want to ever be accused of that, being a keyboard warrior. I want to get out there on the ground and see what's going on. Well, she can't talk to me. Why? I mean, why do you think she PFA'd Nick? She didn't want to talk to Nick either because we asked the question she doesn't want to answer. And John Featherston wasn't pushy enough. Sorry, John. Love you. But you ain't pushing hard enough on that button. You need to be mashing on that button. Okay? And that's my only criticism, which is fine. Look, they have their lane. And if I can spur them to be more bold and play the conservative voice that maybe some other people will listen to, and whatever, I don't care if they come around a month later and other people listen to them that might not normally have listened to me, fine, whatever. Was I the one that spurned? Yes, it was, because I furnished the agitation. And this is agitation everywhere, guys. This is agitation, like you said, I don't care, right? I don't.
Yeah.
I mean,
right.
I thought Bobby Charles looked retarded the other day going down there and hugging a homeless woman with the most awkward hug I'd ever seen. He's out there casing us down there at 50 Water Street. And okay, it's fine. I guess I'm encouraged in the fact that he's watching, right? And he knows we've got a pulse on the heartbeat. So I'm affecting the gubernatorial race indirectly, right? Which is what I've always intended it to, is be a force in political nature that causes people to not be look away, and whoever's in power will do something about it. I mean, why should I wait until the Republicans are in charge? Why can't I shame Democrats into doing something? I believe I can. So,
Sure
when you get those rules thrown out, right, and you say, and which is why the GOP doesn't want to have anything to do with me or, Nick or anything, because we're wild hares, We'll cause change. People don't like that.
Yeah, she scheduled a cleanup for Saturday, this past Saturday, and then like 4 days before that, she announced she canceled it because she was afraid of rain. I think, is that what happened?
Maine, today it could say sunny tomorrow, and then tomorrow would be raining. You have no idea. The best thing is just say, better bring a poncho, okay? And if it gets rain out, go, sorry guys. But then they make the excuse, like we get down there, I went over there to ask, where the hell were you guys? You don't know how difficult it is to arrange more than 20 people. Really? We had 28 in 48 hours. Okay? This idea that we're just going to sit around and accept people going, oh, it's hard. And, and besides, that ain't why you canceled it. That's the real issue. You cancel it. And look, people say it's a shame that you can't work with Courtney. You're damn straight it is. You are damn straight. I do not hate Courtney. I do not hate Ryan Gary. I do not hate Dakota Bonnell. I don't hate anybody. Okay, I will go down there, but I want to work with you. And you're coming from the assumption your model's perfect. I'm coming from the assumption it needs some work. But you don't want to work it because it isn't about recovery. It's about the money. Now we got a problem. So
Right. And you're bringing that point to the mayor and to the city council, and Nick is bringing his point. You too, about the whole pushing of the transgender agenda in the Augusta schools. And you're as time passes, your use of social media is developing more and more pushback. Like Facebook, they killed a post or something the other day, I noticed. But let me ask you this: I'm sensing that social media is changing ever so slightly. The algorithm is more draconian than ever before, um, but the cancellation has stopped. Have you? Are you? Is that what you're seeing as well? They don't cancel you. They just make sure nobody sees what you're doing.
yeah, it's a softer
Yeah.
sort of thing. It's a
Yeah.
mute, it's a boot on the neck type thing, which is why, again, back to the hashtags. I got kicked out of groups, right? I mean, look, I'm trying to use AI as much as possible because the further I go, I don't want to get drawn off into stupid argumentation, right? Because that's the kind of stuff they
Right.
deliberately do. Number one,
Right.
it's a distraction. You're over here arguing
Yep.
about something else. So I started to be able to identify the tactics like right away. That's, the gaslighting tactics, uh, you know, obfuscation or this, anyway, whatever it is. So I started going over to Grok and go, what are they doing? Tell me what to do. Formulate a response, right?
Yep.
And so I was doing that in order to keep it clinical at times. But I also sometimes freestyle. And some lady asked me about my hand size and a Bella Balls thing. And I said, lady, you want to know how big my is? And I said, the D word. And I showed her just a Courtney saying that she didn't believe abstinence was a part of her recovery. Okay. It was a joke. It was, I am powerful because of what I have, right? It isn't about my penis. It's about, right. But of course, Facebook, she reported it. I was going to threaten to show her my penis, which everybody knows we weren't. And so now I
Yeah.
can't use groups anymore. And then this happened and this happened and this happened. And finally, I'm like, you know what? I just post everything to my own page. And now
Mhm.
I send it to, I tag certain people that I know are the ones that are the repeaters, and I can get it repeated into the group. So I just find a way to try and get around it.
What I found with the whole uh, grouping of issues and people in social media is that it's really difficult, if not impossible, for these groups to become little fiefdoms for whoever ends up having power within the group. And I decided never to go down that road. So I just kept on with my profile on the internet, which has always been my identity. I've never posted pictures of my grandchildren. I've always protected the privacy of my family, all of these kind of things. Going all the way back to the beginning. And I was a public figure for 20 years in Maine as the internet was forming, as it was rolling into the civilization, into the culture. So I've never used it privately. Um, in fact, now I'm using it more privately than I ever have. I'm mentioning more of my sort of off the record life than I ever have before.
Right.
Um, but I have no interest in groups. I'm not joining any groups now that I'm using Facebook. I'm never going to go there. I am Michael Stuart Heath, and if you want to know where I'm at, then you just go to my page, right? You
Right.
just go to my X
Right.
pages.
And I
I'm not.
found relying on the groups, I found it was a reliance because I think to a certain degree there's an artificial echo chamber created there for you. And what I found now is that look,
So
just you do
yeah,
you.
so I promised 30 minutes, and I want to keep to my word for my viewers. So I'm going to give you the last word. We got 2 minutes, and I really appreciate you getting up early to do this.
Oh, you're welcome.
And yeah, and so go for it. You got the last word.
Man, my dreams are coming true. I am in true discipleship. Finally, this is all about replication of ourselves in one way or another, is to repeat the message. And I'm just here to catch a fire, right? And I've been lighting matches and throwing them at Tinder ever since I've been here. And I haven't known, what the fight is. And I've gone to the school boards and this, that, and the other thing, and the transgender thing. But this one feels significant. This one feels like at the core, it's the cancer that if it doesn't get dealt with, Augusta will never get any better. Not the school systems, not anything. And so, yeah, it's really captured my heart so much that I really don't want this to be a passing thing, right? I want to go live with the homeless for a while, and do things that nobody's ever done before, in the name of love and to lift up Jesus. So I'm happy. Things are good.
Amen. We finally got our first viewer, and I'll be back tomorrow at 6 a.m. Stay on after the. Okay, we're off. Cool. That was great. I need to become a better host, ask better questions. So
It's not
thanks
easy,
for.
man. People think it's easy. It's not easy. It's
You're
really
right.
hard. It's really, and I'm like you. I love to talk, right? And so in the normal format of 3 hours, you can talk, I can talk, you can talk. But when you're a host, you gotta let the other guy get it's. So I don't even notice it because we're just talking like friends, so it doesn't bother me and don't feel slighted at all.
And I find that I can't keep it to 30 minutes if I jump in with both feet.
Yes.
So
that's the hardest part. Yeah. So 30 minutes goes by real fast. 3 minutes goes by real fast. So I threatened the school board, man, basically. Threatened John. Yeah. And I went.
John is the guy, the subject of the video.
The women being, I'm like, you know what? I mean, I've been playing by the Grok rules, right? But I also finally realized that I tailor them, and then I put the spice where necessary because I understand that I'm unique to the situation and it's me. I'm the key, right? It's not Grok that's the key. It's me. And so as we move further and further along in this, I expected to walk further and further away from what Grok would recommend we do because Grok is operating under a normal model of civility, but we're not there. So I'm pressing it within the bounds of civility so at some point I can say, look, I tried. I really tried. Now I have to go full-blown humiliation. And so I just dropped that mic out there like, look, we can do this one of two ways. You have no idea what the ceiling is on me. You don't know. You don't know what direction I'm going to go. And so I want him to literally be afraid to go to the meeting.
Things are changing. I noticed today that Mills is coming under fire. Richard put a post up about Reddit, and both the right and the left are now tearing into Mills.
Oh, really?
So the left is new to the party, but on Reddit they're just ripping Mills. What do you make of this whole Plattner phenomenon? I mean, the guy is like viral every day. What is that about? Like internationally viral from little old Maine. What is going on?
Yeah, man. What it is was grab ladder run. Jeez, man, my God. Well, first of all, I think that what the Democrats consider to be disqualifying, the world considers to be disqualifying, has slipped so far, right? It's like just like that idea of in ethics, we're not even supposed to have the appearance of evil. Oh, well, hell, they abandoned that shit a long time ago. I mean, who cares if it looks bad? It just isn't. Take my word for it. And that's the world we live in, right? And we're in this world where, people aren't willing anymore. And I don't think that they realized, hey, good morning, Shane, We're still on, so be careful about what you say. I've been simul streaming. I forgot to tell you.
Oh, all right. Oh, that's
So
fine.
So now you know we're still on my channel. But
That's fine. We can go as long as you want. Well, I have to leave. I have to leave at what 7. I have to leave at 7.
yeah. So
So
but yeah, I don't. What the hell was I talking about?
Plattner and why
Oh
he's
yeah. So I think they made this assumption that they misread the room, right? Is that people weren't going to dig, right? Second of all, I mean, they've just become so confident that they could just manufacture a candidate and throw him in the middle of Maine and go, I mean, what does he need to be doing? Burley, get him on a boat, right? We need a boat. I mean, it was just like you could see he was so clearly manufactured, and they were sloppy, and the guy's got a horrible past, and the internet was forever, you know.
Yeah. Now,
So
one of the things that so when I was fighting gay rights for 20 years, the left, the Plattner side, the Democratic Socialists used Maine globally. They used Maine as a testing ground to test all their tactics. And it took them millions of dollars and a bunch of research, a bunch of testing, coming up here and trying out different methods, different political uh, means and methods. Um, it took them about 10 years, 10, 20 years, but they did it. They ended up, and they've rolled the same thing out globally when it comes
yeah,
to the homosexual issue. What they
yeah.
learned in Maine, they've deployed globally.
Yeah. Well,
So
interestingly enough,
that's,
the sex thing, we talked about the trans thing.
mhm,
I've kind of lost interest in it. And here's the thing is I'm sort of I don't fit the technical definition of OCD. I'm obsessive compulsive, but not, I don't think, in a clinical way.
mhm,
I'm it's kind of like the dog on the bone phenomenon. It's when I
yeah,
get a problem, or it's like a Rubik's cube. I but I bore easily too, which lends to me being the kind of guy who over years has started a lot of things and not always finished a lot of them. Now the good
yeah,
thing is, eventually I do sink my teeth into something, and I'm a decent finisher. But I
mhm,
start a lot of things, right? I've started a lot of businesses and went, that's not what I want to do, right? Because I needed to process them and go through them and say, is this something I can put it on like a suit coat, wear it, and everything? And I think that there are so many people. It's like when I first got in, Richard goes, dude, you need to start cold calling all these Somali places, healthcares, when it first started blowing up. And I'm like, no. I don't know why. I just have no. Everybody's doing it already. Somebody's doing
right,
it. It's like I don't want to do it. And so this thing came along, right? And I've always been. Well, I think I told you. I mean, the word I hated the word for the social influencer, social media influencer, but ultimately
right,
that's exactly what I want to do. I don't want an
mhm,
office. I don't want to, anything celebrity status, except for the point that it allows me to have garner power that I can aim and weaponize at the people that are in office that can make a change and do something, right?
yeah, yeah,
That's the kind of power I want to get. Like, oh shit, Tim Bodner is now interested in this subject. We are
yeah,
screwed. Okay, we're gonna
mhm,
have to figure out what to do, because that's exactly the reputation I want. Oh shit, just come in here. This can't happen. And then so they go, hey, we took it down. Forget it. No, go away. Forget about us. This is what I
mhm,
want. And so that, like I said, the trans thing was like, there's so many people doing it, right? And you know what? And I don't like Heidi Sampson, but I'm not saying everything she does is bad. Same thing with Alan Sarvenis and these other guys.
yeah,
Not the way I would do it, but why bash against them? Look, they're doing their thing.
right,
It has its worth. But,
right,
so the needle thing though, and uh, I'm not even one that believes that that things haven't changed, okay, and that my recovery model won't work today. I'm willing to even entertain that, right? Or it
mhm,
needs to be modified in some way, which is why I want to go talk to people at a good treatment facility, so I can say what's wrong here and what's going on here with this. And I really have transcended. I really have transcended the whole partisan thing. To me, I haven't even thought about it. It just doesn't. Because
Well, that whole partisanship in the United States, when everything settled into two sides, which interestingly was at the same time that the philosopher from Germany, Friedrich Hegel,
mm,
had his insight about thesis, thesis, antithesis, synthesis, and the Hegelian dialectic. Most people have heard that word, but they probably haven't thought deeply about thesis, antithesis, synthesis. So, in order for the world to work that way, which is what he was arguing, part of what he was arguing, um, you have to have two sides. You have to have the thesis, you have to have the antithesis, and then you end up with the synthesis. And so it was after that, because he said that he made that philosophical observation in the mid 1800s, and that's about the time that the United States cemented itself as a uh,
mhm.
two-party system. A two-party system is not the only way to run a democracy. I mean,
No, that's true, and I think you're right. But I think that when you talk about the duality, right, there's always like a third component to this. Like, that you have to have, like, for example, I am coming against the school board. They are coming against me. They are resistant to me. There are two sides to this because I want change and they want their status quo or to continue the change that they're on, right?
Mhm, mhm.
But again, it depends on how whether you determine left and right, or like at this point, my model has more changed to us and them, the
Mhm,
ruled and the rulers, because
mhm.
this is really what the problem has become. So it's still in a way the whole idea, that model of the thesis and the antithesis, right? And
Right,
but yet,
right,
but
and that's
what you're defining
right,
as the two things are different.
and that's because he was right. But what's wrong with the application of his principle about thesis, antithesis, and synthesis is that the political layer has weaponized it into these sport teams, red and blue, Republican, Democrat. And if you're going to think about or act in politics now in America, then you're not allowed to
Well,
think and act
right,
outside of your team. So you sign up for a team, and then that's where you
right.
live.
Well, even
And
progressive and conservative is the same thing. Think about it. I mean,
that's
because you
right.
say the
That's
same
right.
thing and you go,
That's
well, we're going to conserve. That's what we're going to do. We're all about
right.
conserving. Well, shit, we've talked about this, that I'm a progressive Christian,
Yeah.
right? I'm pressing Christianity about as fast as it can possibly go, okay?
Yeah.
To see what the limits of it are, right? I mean, I got my
Yeah.
foot on the floor on this thing, and people are like, what's he doing? It's like all of this stuff
Most
was acceptable within the book. You just don't read it right. You're not using all the
right.
tools.
Most people have heard of the Hegelian dialectic, but what they haven't heard is about this principle that Hegel taught and articulated, and that is what he called the cunning of reason. And that's what you're talking about. And that's what's happened to you since you decided to become authentic on social media, is the cunning of reason is drawing. So reason is drawing you to these conclusions and these actions in the public square.
Yes,
And it has a cunning to it. Reason has a cunning to it,
of course.
and and that's what's
Well,
happened.
listen, I'll give you the perfect example. Give you the perfect example. I put in a FOIA to the MERAP Access Center, aka Gary Allen.
Yeah.
They are a private NGO. Therefore, well, first they didn't answer me at all within the 5 days, and I had to soundly kick him in the crotch and say, hello.
That's
Okay.
right.
And they wrote back and they said, blah, 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 blah. According to so, they are considered a private corporation, da, 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 da. So go pound salt.
Right.
Now, at the same time, I'm running a social media campaign and their platform is on fire.
Mm-hmm.
So Courtney Gary Allen said, and writes a post that says, we are perfectly willing to open our books to an auditor provided they come in good faith. Okay, this is where I got disqualified as that auditor, right? But they put up a whole bullshit post saying they are wide open and the facts are on their side. Well, first of all, if the facts are on your side, we don't know that yet. You're just declaratively stating the facts are on your side. So I said, well, look at this. Look what I have here. I have a direct contradiction. One person saying we are perfectly willing to open the books, and they're saying we don't need to tell you anything. Okay? These two things do not fit together. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring those together in a very public way. And so far, I haven't satisfactorily been able to do that. You saw the post that I made. That's not getting the kind of traction I need. Oh, no. Now we have to find a public microphone. We're going to look them dead in the face and say, which is it? Okay? And if you don't trust me, I could give a shit. Put it online so everybody can see it. Your supporters, your detractors, everyone. Because if you were, and I'm just going to call these people out in their damned lies until I want Courtney Garrett Allen to be terrified to go to that meeting. Not because why they say they're terrified, right? Because we're so scary, and I think everybody at this point knows that, that we're scary because of our ideas. And they're scared to answer the questions. And I'm just going to keep making that obvious. And sooner or later, everybody learns what time it is.
Yeah. And what we're all up against is the fact, especially in Maine, is the fact that the only real incomes left in Maine that create a stabilizing income stream for Maine comes from the national government and the state government through taxation from other states to Washington, and then redistribution to poor states like Maine. So for example, in all of our little villages, what's the most stable income stream in Maine? It's the public school teacher. It's the public schools. That's the base. That's the base of the most stable income stream.
Yep.
Now, does that mean does that mean in the Harbor Village or whatever, in the village, pick your average Maine village, does that mean that's the only source of income? No. But we've watched, as we shipped all our jobs to China, we've watched all of our manufacturing go away. And so what we're left with is tourism and a little, small retail. And it's becoming increasingly uncertain.
Well, the government grows larger and larger and larger, it becomes the biggest employer, right? I mean, you've always heard this, the government's created, this many jobs. It's like, well, first of all, no, they didn't really. I mean, private industry creates jobs, but when the government's creating jobs, it's just getting more bloated. That's what that means. It's just more and more overhead to run the country.
Right. And so the play that they're making right now against you is they're going to do a pretend audit, and accountants are trained to do pretend audits. So the auditor is going to look at all the rules that the government wrote, and they're going to hide all the stuff that would cause the working class to be concerned.
I already know Barry Dunn did quarterly audits. I know.
Yeah.
I read the emails. I know. Just the same crap that they do with the thing. If they run an election, recount. Recount doesn't mean you're checking the validity of the signature. You're just counting the same bunch of shit that you counted the first time. And you're going to get the same crappy result, right? So, yeah, exactly. That's what they're going to do. They're going to say, well, Barry Dunn did their jobs and everything looks great.
And it's everywhere we turn now. It's at every layer of our civilization. It's all theater. It's all pretense.
Yep.
Even religion. I mean, on the Roman Catholic side, there's a war breaking out because of the whole priest sex thing that's been a subject, a top tier subject of conversation, starting in America, and now it's global. And so the Roman Catholic Church is being roiled by that. And the church is trying to respond to it by creating this thing called synodality, which is, what is synodality? Well, this is the idea that the church is going to listen to every voice, right? We're going to listen to everybody. It's just that's just gay, right? This whole the whole thing spun up because everybody got mad about the priests when it became clear that there were a number of priests who were homosexuals and pedophiles, and anyway, so that's the Catholic side. On the Protestant side, and America is Protestant, 70% Protestant, but on the Protestant side, you got Jimmy Swaggart, you got that whole celebrity culture piece of evangelicalism, where everybody thinks they're going to be saved because they send money to that Kenneth Copeland cat down in
Kenneth Copeland,
so you, and it's all very similar. It's all rooted. All of this is rooted in pride.
Mm-hmm.
It's pride. We're allowing the few to act based on their pride, based on their,
Well, when I came into this thing, I find that it's funny. I almost sometimes understand myself retrospectively because I am a work of God and project, right? This TruthSlinger project is truly a project. I don't always know where it's going, right? Most of the time I don't know where it's going. But what I have found as I've gone retrospectively and looked at it, that I think that I'm interested in the higher spiritual laws at work here.
Amen.
Okay. I am interested in, for instance, we spent months arguing over free speech. Let's get this straight, people. You can do all sorts of stuff, but you're just going to have to suffer us for a minute. You're going to have to do it. Okay? And I'll prove it to you. And now it's over for me. And this sex thing was kind of over too. I'm kind of like, it's already dying. Now now if I want, here's my legacy. I want transparency. I don't give a shit what the law says. I don't.
Right. So here's the bottom line. Here's the bottom line on that point. So surveillance, right? Everybody's talking about it now because they had cameras and flock and blah, 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 blah. So transparency, accountability, not for every 300 million citizens in America, not for every single one of them. No, not surveillance and accountability for them. No. America's rising up. America's rising up, and it's saying, if that's what you mean, Mr. Politician, we ain't going to be any part of that. I don't care if you throw in AI or the internet or anything else, or we don't believe you anymore. We are going to take the internet and we are going to turn it around. We are going to take the cameras and we are going to turn them around, and they are going to be pointed at you.
That's right.
And why would that be? Because America's principle, right? The most foundational, fundamental founding principle of America is that we, the people, not we, the oligarchs, not we, the government, not we, the politicians. No, we, the people. So the people expect accountability. That's what you're saying. And that's what you're starting to do.
And I'm going to walk into these meetings. Like I said, I don't give a shit what the law says. I'll look right at him. I said, don't give a shit what the law says. I'm telling you, you got a room full of people in here and a city full of people. And if you think 600 NGOs, we're talking one, man, one. If you think they can operate using public funds and we're all going to just swallow that, well, it went from this barrier and it went through this membrane and now it gets all fuzzy, we can't look at it anymore. We refuse to accept that. I don't care what your law says. Your life will be a living hell when you go to Hannaford's, when you go to this meeting, because people are going to go, when are you going to show the books? When are you going to do this? When are you going to do that? And I'm not alone, okay? I am starting to, people are gravitating to me. Now, I go 6,000 miles an hour. I see something, I saw something 3 years ago. I'm supposed to build an army. And the next day I'm going, where are they, God? Where the hell is my army? And I'm like going, but then months go by and I'm going, Lord, where's my army? And then years start going by and like, I'm losing people, right? And I'm feeling like I'm doing the Jesus strategy here, right? I'm down, man. I'm down. I keep saying, you got to eat me and you got to drink me, and they keep leaving. Terrible church growth strategy, right? So, but But what happened was, keep walking that path, and then originally God begins to add back that which he intends to. And now I'm starting to, people are starting to come to me that have had it. Okay, had it. And I'm telling you, I'm letting to people that are watching me that out there later, because I'm coming for you. I'm telling you, there are people that are this close to going, I don't care anymore. Right? And the only thing that's keeping them back is because you have something to do with potentially making sure that they don't have a paycheck if they open their mouths.
Right. More than people, there's many more men and women, especially men, I think, than we know who are approaching that breaking point. I mean, we're starting to see around the nation warehouses being lit on fire.
Yeah.
And I think in some of the cases, they've got evidence to suggest that it's former employees, and they've just had it.
Yeah.
You're going to treat me that way? We're going to burn down the factory. And now the big data center movement is so panicked about this because they see what's happening. Everybody sees it, right? Everybody's mad about these big data centers, and they see that, and they're talking about investing trillions of dollars in these things. And now they realize that the people are mad about it. And so what they're looking at is their investment literally being burned to the ground.
Yeah.
By an angry public.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
You've gone too far, right? You've gone too far. You've taken this a bridge too far, right? And I'm the guy. Me, Nick, Lisa Gagne, Trish Burnell, Britt Young. I mean, I could go on. All of them that are there. Steve Andre, who's doing the main rising, the moderator. I mean, all of these people, each and every one of them. Zach, who I met recently, who's like a beast. Listen, here's the problem too with evil people, is evil people do people dirty and then depend upon intimidation to keep them silent. Well, that only works as long as you hold so much power. And as soon as I begin to undermine the source of your power, people are going to start to become free to speak. Okay.
That's
and then ultimately your demise is that it's, and we are here. And I'm telling you again, if people, Jonathan Edwards, Courtney, and this is not harassment. This isn't mean. This isn't, I hate you. Again, I'd love to work with you guys, but I just don't think you're interested. And so you need to go away now, because and it's not just me. I mean, I wouldn't be speaking in this way. I mean, yes, I'm an egotistical guy, but I understand that I am walking with the Lord behind me over my shoulder. I'm a harbinger. Is that the right word? Harbinger?
Yeah.
Things to come. This is it. I'm going to walk. And what's, you know what? I love this. Because of this, Nicholas, well, God is pulling all the strings, right? And Nick's got this lawsuit, right? And then just this boldness that no one has ever seen before. Let me tell you something. Waltzing into the pre-meeting 5 minutes before the Augusta City Council, blasting Trailer Park Queen and dancing around while the police chief sat there like a stone. Nobody had any idea they didn't know what to do. What are we going to do? We can't, and they know they can't stop me. Because of the way all the stars have lined up, it's like, you want a national incident? Come on, take me away, carry me away. Otherwise, you got to let me do everything I'm going to do here, and that gives me a wild amount of power. And it's fun. It's fun. It's fun because
it suits you. It suits you. It's how. Listen, everybody who's listening, whatever. If this identity, this is it. This is the issue. Do we have it? Do we have a right to our identity or not?
That's perfect. And you said that the other day, right? And you made a post about that the other day. But if you think about it, if you went, okay, let's go by exactly what Martha Witham wants, right? What would you get? You would get 5 women stand up, and they would speak softly, and they would smile, and they would say nice things about, and they would waste 30 seconds of their time saying, counselor, chairwoman, person, thank you. And right, this is what they want, right? But the problem is that this isn't what I'm going to give them, right? I refuse to give them what they want, right? Because that's just not the way it works. If that's not civility, and everybody just plays along and everybody just buys it. And I came in and went, hey, wait a minute. You know, and at first I didn't even know how far I could push stuff. I don't know the law. I didn't know any of this. I just knew this doesn't feel right. This just feels like a bunch of people robotically responding in a mechanical way that allows the system to continue to roll forward in its wicked, evil way.
So there's two things that matter more than anything else for humanity, for human.
So, and you're right. So everybody becomes monolithic. Nobody's individual. That was my point, or your point. Everybody becomes the same.
Right. So identity, your identity, not anyone else's. It's your fingerprint. It's you, and you need to start being that on Facebook.
Yes.
Number one. Not number one. Number two is the moral law. So to what are we going to hold all of us accountable? All Americans, all people in the world. We're going to hold it ourselves. Humanity is going to hold itself accountable to what? The universal moral law. It's the universal moral law that sets us apart from the animals.
Yes.
So now people are going to disagree, right? Islam's going to make this argument. Hindus are going to make that argument. Communists are going to make this argument. Socialists are going to make that argument. You know, capitalists are going to make this argument, whatever. And they're going to attempt, you know, to root their argument, their beliefs in the universal moral law, which is fine. But what we all have to come to agree about now, we Americans, especially we Mainers, is that there is a universal moral law. There is one. There is one. And let's start talking about it, right? Instead of letting Robert's Rules of Order or Graham Plattner or Bobby Charles or any other politician define the moral law for us.
Right.
We gotta stop doing that.
You're absolutely right, man. It's not my truth. It's not your truth. There is the truth, right?
Right.
And
there is the truth.
Yeah.
And we need to argue with one another. We need to debate one another. We need to move toward that universal moral law. All of us, gays, straights, trannies, drunks, alcoholics, prostitutes, whatever it is.
Oh, God. But just have to listen. The whole sexual thing, it was like really funny. You know, people would go, well, you know, I would become a Christian, but then I'm going to have to listen to this other music, and I really like this kind of music. I said, don't worry about that. I said, you get saved, and then your preferences will change, right? You're assuming that your wanter is going to be the same as it was before, right? But what happens is in salvation, your wanter becomes different, right? So,
that's called virtue, right? So
right.
Everybody universally wants virtue, but how do you get there?
Right.
And Christianity offers a unique path to virtue.
Yeah.
As does everybody.
Right.
You know,
if you took care of the moral law, you wouldn't have pedophilia. I mean, because people would go, it's not, that's a kid. We shouldn't do that. That's just like, ew, that's icky. Right. So, that would go a long way. And then at that point, whose genitals you want to put in your mouth, whatever. You know, I mean,
I got to go. Yeah, I got to go. But I got to go. But also, I mean, like apply that to war, right? Why is the nation? Why are the nations right now so roiled over this whole subject of war? Why is there? It's just so much energy being given to the whole subject of war, and it's because of the murder, which is now obvious. Videos everywhere. The murder, the willful murder, the programmatic state-supported murder of women and children, of innocents, which is why Augustine, back in Hippo, back through 400 or so AD, as he watched the Arians rise up, so there was a battle kind of within Christianity, within the Roman Empire, that brought violence to his doorstep in Hippo. So he wrote the City of God, and he said, look, we're not, and this became a foundational principle for the West, for Western civilization, what he observed. So he wrote Just War Theory. And one of the things that we've tried to follow in the West, but we're not doing it anymore, is you can't, it's not justified ever and under any circumstance to kill women and children, to kill non-combatants. It's never, ever justified. This is what we bring to the debate over war. When I say we, I mean Christians, because Christianity hasn't come up with a better formula for restraining the war, the warfare. It's the best we can offer, Christianity. If you've got something better, then tell me what it is. But as far as Christianity is concerned, both Protestant, Catholic, whatever, Christian, we don't kill innocents.
Yeah.
The American military used to be proud of that.
Yeah.
We used to brag about that. We don't anymore. We don't.
Yeah.
We've signed up with Israel, which the whole world knows is committing genocide in Gaza. The whole world knows it. Can't be argued. And so the people who want to support it end up saying, well, it's justified because we bombed Dresden or we killed all the Indians or whatever it is. None of that was right. That's all immoral. All of it's immoral. So anyway, another rabbit hole.
Well, enjoyed my time with you as always. And
yeah, me too. It's great.
You help spur me to come back on camera because I get down this lane and, with the investigative journalism and the broadcasting has sort of been on the wayside, but it's good. You spur me to come back and do it. Good. I hope you continue your live streamathon or whatever it was called at some point. Yeah, we're getting back into it definitely. It's part of it. Need it. Yeah. Good. Well, keep up the great work. Okay. Well, thank you so much, and enjoyed it, and we'll talk again soon. All right. Bye-bye. See you guys. All right. Well, his meeting's going to end in a minute because he's going to end the stream. He sure shut his camera off, but I don't know how long I'm going to last. So, yeah, thank you very much for being here this morning. I'll stick for a little bit if Shane's still here and just kind of tell you what's going on. And then I'm going to go make some breakfast and get on with my day. I find that everybody's second sleeping. I love second sleep. It's like we got a lot of animals, and so when everybody's chilled out again, it's cool. So, is my on-air sign isn't functioning again? It came on. It flipped on the other day. I don't know why it's not on. Oh, I know. This must be on a switch or something. Where's the switch? The switch. Where's the switch? Oh my God, I hate cords. I can't tell you. Yeah, I don't see it over here either. There is one. Somewhere. There it is.
Oh my God.
It's not switch. I don't know. Does it get chewed? It might got it chewed somewhere along the line. Look at that. It went on just a second. Oh, it wasn't that one. It's this one. Try that. There we go. Ta-da! All right. So, the funny part is actually somebody sat there for about 3 minutes watching me fix my neon light. Normally I'm better at verbally juggling while I'm getting the sign turned on. So anyway, what the hell's in front of it? Was that your microphone? Oh, no, Michael Stuart Heath's thing is still up there. All right, guys, listen, I'm going to go. I got a lot to do. I got to get my marijuana plants repotted and outside. So, and I'm falling behind on life because I'm spend my whole life obsessing over Augusta politics. So, but it needs to be fixed, and it's good for the state, and it's good for Augusta, and it's going to be good for homeless people, hopefully, and recovering addicts. The project as it unfolds as we go forward with the TruthSlinger project, trying to get things to be better, right, than they are. That's really what we do. Make a dent for Jesus, right? So anyway, we enjoyed you, and look for us live, and if you do, jump in, and we're always doing something interesting. Always, always, always. And if you can, send us a little bit of love down there. Help us support all our investigative journalism and activism and prodding the world to be a better place. So we love you, and we will talk to you soon. My name is Tim. I am your TruthSlinger. We are